It's a tale that many have shared over the years. It's a story that has echoed across countless campfires and late-night conversations. There's always a warning attached. If you should ever find yourself at the crossroads of the whispering woods, beware the beckoning light of the hotel and whatever it represents. For once you step inside, you may never escape. In today's episode, we're going to tell the chilling story of a hotel in the mountains. Before we begin, it would mean the world to us if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribed so you never miss an amazing story. I never believed in curses. Not until the winter I took that job. My name is Mark Ellison, and this is the story of how I lost everything, my family, my mind, and eventually myself. People will tell you it was the snow, the isolation, or maybe the bottle I've been trying so hard to put down, but that's not the truth. The truth is the hotel wanted me, and once it had me, it didn't let go. The arrival. When I was offered the job as winter caretaker of the Highridge Hotel, it felt like a second chance. The hotel sat alone in the Colorado mountains, vast and elegant, but empty through the long, brutal winters. The owners needed someone to maintain the boiler, keep the snow from caving in the roof, and just make sure the place survived until spring. For a man trying to get sober, trying to write, trying to keep a family together, it sounded perfect. I packed up my wife Claire and our son Ethan, and we drove the long, winding road up into the mountains. The higher we climbed, the narrower the road became. Snow had already begun to fall, thick and heavy, the kind of snow that muffled sound and made the world feel hollow. When the hotel finally came into view, I felt something stir inside me. It was beautiful, no doubt. A grand, sprawling structure with towering windows and endless corridors. But it loomed like a carcass, a relic of a time that had rotted away. Ethan gripped my hand as we walked inside. He was only 8 years old, but his eyes always seemed older, like he knew things he shouldn't. The staff were already packing up for the season, eager to leave before the mountain roads closed. Among them was the head cook, Mr. Harmon, an older man with warm eyes and a voice that carried weight. He noticed Ethan almost immediately. Later that day, when Claire was unpacking, Mr. Harmon pulled my son aside. I overheard him say, "You've got the shine, boy." I can see it clear as day. I frowned at the word, the shine. He explained that some people could feel the echoes of places, see what happened before, even sense what might happen next. He said the High Ridge had history, and not all of it good. Ethan just nodded. He already knew. When Mr. Harmon looked at me, his expression grew serious. "If the boy ever sees something bad," he said, "tell him to stay away from room 237. I laughed it off, but his tone stayed with me. Why that room? That night, Ethan woke screaming. He said the walls were dripping red, and in the hallway 2 little girls held hands and asked him to play forever. I told him it was just a nightmare, but I didn't sleep at all after that. The silence of snow, the first weeks passed quietly. The snow piled higher, burying the roads until we were sealed inside the hotel with no way out. At first, I liked it. I walked the empty halls, listened to the hush of the storm outside, and sat down every day to write. But the words wouldn't come. The silence didn't soothe me. It pressed on me, like the walls themselves were leaning closer every day. Claire noticed my frustration. She tried to comfort me, but every small noise she made, every sigh, every word felt like a needle in my skull. And Ethan's whispers to himself, his imaginary conversations with someone I couldn't see, clawed at my nerves. That's when the hotel began to whisper back. The man in the bar. One night, while wandering the ballroom, I found myself at the bar. It was stocked, impossibly so. I hadn't had a drink in years, but the sight of those bottles made my throat burn. Then I heard a voice. "Evening, Mr. Ellison," it said. Behind the bar stood a man in a crisp suit, polishing a glass. His smile was thin, sharp. His name was Lloyd. I told myself he was a dream, a figment of my stressed mind. But the drink he poured was real. The burn of whiskey down my throat was real. And the warmth in my chest, the way the anger dulled and the world softened, that was real too. When I staggered back to our room, Claire looked at me with disappointment. "You promised, Mark," she whispered. I turned from her. I didn't want to hear her voice anymore. Room 237. Ethan avoided the west wing of the hotel. He said something was waiting there. Something bad. Of course, that was where I ended up wandering one night. The door to room 237 was slightly open. I don't remember deciding to go inside. I only remember the sound of water running. The bathroom. She was waiting for me there. A beautiful woman standing in the tub, water glistening on her skin. She smiled, stepped toward me, and I felt every thought slip away. I reached for her, desperate, hungry. But as my arms closed around her, her flesh sagged. Her skin turned gray, bloated, rotting. Her lips peeled back to reveal teeth black with decay. I screamed and stumbled back, but she laughed, her voice echoing like the pipes of the hotel themselves. I slammed the door and ran, but I swear the smell of her rot clung to me for days. The breaking point after that night, I wasn't myself. The hotel spoke to me in dreams. It told me Claire didn't understand me, that Ethan wasn't my son at all, but something strange, something watching me. I began to write again, but the pages were filled with the same line over and over. All work and no play makes Mark a dull boy. Claire found the pages. I'll never forget the look on her face as she flipped through them, her hands trembling. That was when the hotel showed me the truth. A man appeared in the corridor, dressed in the uniform of an old caretaker. His name was Grady. He told me he had once worked here too. He said he'd brought his family with him, just like I had. And he said the hotel had corrected him. He smiled when he told me how he'd killed them. The hotel wanted me to do the same. The axe? The storm outside grew worse. The power flickered. The boiler groaned, and the hotel gave me an axe. I don't remember picking it up. One moment, my hands were empty. The next, the wood was pressed against my palm, the blade gleaming in the dim light. Claire screamed when she saw me. She grabbed Ethan and ran. I followed, the axe heavy in my grip, my heartbeat thundering in my ears. Come out, wherever you are," I called. My voice didn't sound like mine anymore. The halls twisted, endless, as I hunted them. The walls whispered encouragement. The ballroom cheered. The hotel pulsed with life, feeding on my rage. I swung the axe into doors, splintering wood, each strike echoing like thunder. The maze Claire and Ethan escaped into the hedge maze outside. The snow was blinding, the cold slicing through my skin, but I didn't care. I followed their footprints, my breath steaming in the air, my axe raised high. But Ethan was clever. He doubled back, retracing his steps, erasing his trail. I lost him in the twisting paths of the maze. My hands went numb, my legs slowed. The cold gnawed at me, but still I wandered, calling their names. The snow buried me. My voice cracked, my body froze, and then I was no longer alive. The photograph. The next morning the storm cleared. Somewhere, Claire and Ethan made it down the mountain, their breath clouding in the dawn, their eyes haunted forever. But I stayed, because the hotel kept me. If you ever walk the halls of the Highridge Hotel, you'll see a photograph on the wall. A black and white picture of a party from 1921. The men wear suits. The women sparkle with jewels. And in the center, smiling, is me. I was always here. The hotel doesn't let its caretakers go. That's why I'm telling you this. Because if you should ever hear about a job easy money, just 6 months in the mountains, nothing to do but watch over an empty hotel, don't take it. It won't be empty. It's waiting. And it already knows your name. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss any new stories.